It's time for some more scary stories on Shanclen Shadowproductions. Who? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions. Yes, I know it's been a little bit since I've done a normal video in this instance, but I am back because I've been doing a lot of paranormal investigations and editing and fucked up my back, but it's better now. It's good. Yeah, workouts have been going good. Everything's been going good and fantastic. And so, as always, before we get started, if you guys are enjoying the content here at Shanclen Shadow Productions, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below because I want to get your guys' thoughts on this video too. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in to some viewer submitted stories. Ahoo. Dear Shanclen, I enjoy watching your videos from time to time. Now here's my story, or rather, my stories. When I was in my early teenage years, I had a dream that truly terrified me. At the time, I was living in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, where I was born and raised. In my dream, one of my cousins came to visit us at my parents' apartment. I watched him walking toward me, but behind him I saw something else. A black shadow with horns and glowing red eyes crept silently behind him. It suddenly grabbed him and entered his body. Then it turned and slowly came in my direction. It kept getting closer and closer until it was right in front of me. I woke up trembling with fear. That dream never happened again. Second story. Years later, I moved to Germany to study at a university, and I lived in a dormitory which became my home for the next several years. During that time, I began having a reoccurring dream, and I always started almost the same way. I would find myself standing outside an old wooden house that looked like a traditional American home-style home. After entering the home, I was immediately confronted by an evil spirit. It had a huge mouth filled with sharp teeth and pointed ears, and it would try to grab me. I stepped back and began reciting verses from the Holy Quran for protection. I am Muslim, and we have prayers we recite at night to protect ourselves from demons, harmful creatures, and other evil. These prayers are verses from the Holy Quran. As I recite the verses, the evil spirit began changing. Its body slowly transformed into a dry, crispy substance until it became completely frozen and motionless. I reached out and touched it, and it shattered into countless pieces. I had this same dream 2 or more times before it finally stopped. Third story. Years passed and I eventually settled in Berlin, Germany, got married, and was blessed with 2 wonderful children. One day, when my children were about 6 or 4 years old, they both began telling me about a creature that had been frightening them at night. They described the same being independently. They said it would come out of the wall in their bedroom after dark, and according to them, it had red skin and was completely bald, had unusually long arms and long pointed nails, and an enormous mouth filled with sharp teeth. They said it would simply appear to scare them. This continued for some time. During those same nights, I would often hear loud crashing sounds coming from above the children's room. My children eventually drew a picture of the creature. They drew it as short and bald, with a huge mouth full of sharp teeth, long arms ending in sharp claws, and bright red skin. The drawing reminded me of a figure known as Nosferatu. Then, just as suddenly as it began, everything stopped. The children never mentioned seeing the creature again, and the crashing noises above their room also disappeared. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I wish you the very best with your productions and continued success with your life. I truly enjoy learning from your YouTube channel about Native American spiritual beliefs, traditions, and practices. Ooh. Yeah. So first off, I want to say thank you so much for submitting this story. Let's go ahead and start talking about it. Everyone in the comments think this viewer for submitting their story. So the one in the apartment could be a warning sign that your spiritual body could tell you that your physical eyes can't see, that maybe your friend did have maybe an attachment. And that's where I always kind of say, like, be careful of who you let in your house, because when you let in somebody, they also bring in their baggage of whoever or whatever they may have with them too, including like darker evil spirits that may be coming with them. So it's always be careful whenever you invite people, and only invite people that you know that don't do any crazy stuff. But dreams often do tell you about encounters that you have physically that you don't see or remember seeing physically, because you aren't spiritually 100% in tune with your spiritual gift to where you can see spirits like how you see physical human beings when you walk around. So that could be the first story. Second story, you lived in a dormitory and you saw an American style home, and then this is when you started seeing the beast, the being that you were describing, that had a really huge mouth, sharp teeth, and you started reciting the Quran. That's good. Those are old ancient sacred prayers that you guys have too. So having it go and stun the beast and having it shatter into those pieces are some signs that it is gone. But when it comes to the dream state, that's where repeatedly, depending on what kind of being that you're dealing with, sometimes they like to enter the dreams, and whenever they enter inside of the dream world, they like to try to mess with you there. So if you can beat it in the dream world, sometimes it'll affect it spiritually, but it can get out of the dream world and back into the spiritual world. So that's like, it's like two worlds, spiritual world and then the dream world. So it hops into the dream world, it messes with you there, but you're able to defeat it, and before you finally kill it, it jumps out and back into the spiritual world. And so I'm guessing this being tried a couple times to get at you, but because of your faith and because of your spiritual power that you have, you were able to defeat it every time. So I just said, nah, I'm not going to mess with you. Until years later, could be the same thing being, or it could be something different. I'm not 100% too sure what kind of beings are over there in Europe. Yeah, I haven't been over there, so, and I really haven't talked to many people from that area. So I'm guessing this is a type of a being that is over there that likes to mess with people. And yeah, when it definitely when it comes to it messing with children, that's where like all gloves are off, bro. But it almost seems like it tried again with your children, but something either about them, about you, or about some guardians that you may have with you in your home were able to beat it and finally chase it away for it to actually be gone, like forever gone. And that's where it's always good to, you know, try to have some protections in your home. And at a very young age, for us indigenous people, we always teach, I'm pretty sure it's the same for you, spiritual protections to learn how to look after themselves, their mindset, and how they carry themselves every day. So if those children, they're in a sense still protected too from the creator, because they're still pretty new into this world. So they have some protections there too. And maybe some of your family ancestors saw that they were being picked on, so they may have came down and then they're like, just went to battle with whatever was there. But 100% glad you guys are safe. 100% glad you guys are okay. Thank you so much for submitting the story. And everybody in the comments, thank this viewer so much for submitting their story. So, without further ado, on to the next one. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. I hope everything is going smoothly with the rebuilding of your home after the fire. I donated as much as I could and shared the GoFundMe with many of my friends. Hopefully it helped, even in a small way. Nothing but blessings and positive energy to you and your family. Thank you. Now on to the story. This experience comes from a friend of mine. We'll call him Nick. I've known him for over 20 years. We're neighbors, and we both have young sons around the same age. I've never known Nick to exaggerate or embellish stories. If anything, he's the complete opposite. He usually downplays everything, and I had to ask him several follow-up questions before he finally shared the entire experience. He also gave me permission to tell his story. Neither of us is of indigenous descent, but we both have tremendous amount of respect for native cultures, folklore, and traditions. Thank you. We would sincerely appreciate any thoughts you may have on what this could have been. I'll tell the story exactly how it was told to me. Several years ago, Nick was driving alone across northern Nevada, heading east toward Utah. Roughly 100 miles before reaching the Utah border, near the closest town shown on the map, Elko, Nevada, he noticed a strange figure walking along the side of the road in the distance. He said this was the middle of nowhere, high desert, no settlements or towns anywhere within walking distance. His first thought wasn't fear, it wasn't concern. It was the middle of the afternoon around 2 p.m. The sun was bright, the day was hot, and being the kind of person he is, Nick assumed someone might be stranded without water or supplies and could be in real danger. He got closer, he slowed down to get a better look. That's when he realized it wasn't just a person. Walking beside a tall, gaunt-looking man was an enormous black dog. The man wore blue jeans, boots, and was an older-style camouflage hunting jacket. Nick described him as looking almost sickly. His head remained lowered and long. Greasy black hair hung from his shoulders. The man appeared to be pushing what looked like a shopping cart, but something felt wrong. Before Nick was even close enough to make out many details, he was already overwhelmed by an intense, creepy feeling. Still, he tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was just a drifter and his dog. Maybe there was a town further ahead and this man lived nearby. Nick and I both live on the East Coast and he wasn't familiar with this part of Nevada. For all he knew, maybe this was the man's daily routine. As Nick's car closed the distance about 50 yards, then 20, things became much stranger. He estimated the man stood around 7 feet tall. Damn. According to Nick, the proportions were all wrong. The figure was unnaturally thin, his arms seemed too much long for his body, and even the shopping cart looked impossibly oversized. The handlebar sat at least 2 feet higher than the normal shopping cart should. The basket itself had an odd shape that Nick could only describe as wrong. It was piled impossibly high with unknown objects. Oddly enough, he didn't seem to struggle with the massive cart at all. Despite its enormous size and impossible load, he pushed it effortlessly. Nick couldn't see what was underneath the tarps because both the coverings and the huge black dog obscured most of the contents. It wasn't until he passed them that the unnatural scale of everything truly registered. The man, the cart, and the dog. The dog stood nearly waist high to a 7-foot man. Both of them were taller than the height of Nick's driver's side window as he drove past. At that moment, his attention shifted completely to the dog. The man never once looked up. His head stayed lowered the entire time and never acknowledged Nick's presence. Because of that, Nick never got a good look at his face, only enough to notice that he appeared old and unhealthy. But the dog, however, Nick described it as looking dead or decaying. He couldn't explain why that was his immediate impression, but that's exactly what went through his mind. Its fur was mostly black, with patches of brown and reddish areas. Like the man, the animal didn't move naturally. It seemed to limp and stagger with every step. As Nick's car passed, the dog slowly turned its head and locked eyes with him. Nick described the eye contact as intense. Without thinking, he slammed his foot on the accelerator. He saw his eyes felt genuinely malevolent and evil. A minute or two later, he started trying to convince himself that he had imagined the whole thing. Maybe the heat rising from the pavement had distorted what he was seeing. Maybe it was an optical illusion. Maybe the unsettling feeling had simply gotten the better of him. That's what he kept telling himself. In less than 5 minutes after the strange man, the dog, and the enormous shopping cart disappeared in his rearview mirror, Nick noticed another group of objects ahead, partially blocking the right side of the highway. At first, the glare of the late afternoon sun made it difficult to see clearly. But as he got closer, he realized that the road was lined with several fire trucks and police vehicles. Their emergency lights flashed silently. Surrounding them was what Nick described as the absolute worst traffic accident he had ever witnessed. Strangely, he didn't see paramedics or police officers running around. Instead, he saw two completely mangled vehicles that appeared to have collided head-on. Debris was scattered across the highway. Multiple pools of blood covered both the road and the shoulder. The victims were already gone, but the blood had not yet dried. Nick estimated each pool of blood measured around 3 to 4 feet across. His immediate thought was that there was absolutely no chance anyone involved had survived. This time he didn't slow. He kept his foot firmly on the accelerator, and for reasons he still can't explain, something in his mind told him not to look in the rearview mirror. I've often wondered whether these two incidents were somehow connected, and Nick had driven for several hours before these events without seeing another person or even another vehicle. Then with only in a few minutes he encountered both the strange man with an enormous dog and one of the most horrific accident scenes of his life. Were they related? Thank you for taking your time to read this story, and thank you for everything you do. I truly appreciate your work. Aho. Do you have any thoughts on who or what these entities could have been? Yay. So, okay, there's a couple different things it could be. One, your friend's right. It could be completely imaginary, as far as for just the heat and the exhaustion and the mind kind of playing things. In the past, driving on long desert roads, especially in Nevada too, the heat waves and just something about the dust and stuff like that really does like shift to the image of how things look. But it does get hot, especially on those roads, and that's something when you think about it, like there could be people that walk around, kind of homeless people that travel from city to city, drifters like that. There could be people like that. Rationally thinking, yes, it could be somebody, but we're not rational around here. Just kidding. No, but let's think about the possibilities of it spiritually now. Spiritually, if there was an accident not too far away that somebody did pass away, there are spirits of the highways, spirits of the roads that interconnect cities and towns. There are dedicated kind of spirits that do that. They kind of travel only on the roads. And so this being could have been somebody that passed away long time ago, and him and his dog were probably traveling somewhere and they did get hit. They did pass away at some point, and you could have seen his spirit. Now, whether he's good or bad, not too sure. That's where you kind of go with your gut feelings of, what's good or bad. And Nick's gut feeling told him it wasn't a good spirit. And the fact that it was walking toward the direction of where that accident was could be a soul merchant, could be somebody that feeds on souls, somebody that could generally want to help. Or it could be a person that wants to welcome in the new people on the highway, if they are lost souls. So there's a couple different options of who and what that could be. So very unfortunate, and my condolences to those individuals who did pass away in that car accident. Car accidents suck, man. And 100% this viewer was safe on his journey and his trip, and good job just driving on past. It's just like one of those things. It's just like you don't even want to risk anything bad happening. So it's just like, okay, that's where like some situations like that happen. I either just roll out my window and offer tobacco and offer prayers. If it's just too sketchy of a situation for me to pull off and interact with it. It's just you just keep driving, one of those things. So thank you so much for submitting your story, and very, very creepy indeed. Now let's go ahead and head into the final story of this video. Hi Shanclen, I'm a new fan of your YouTube channel. My twin sister introduced me to your videos and I immediately love listening to your stories. They've given me a lot to reflect on, and I'm sure they're doing the same for many other people as well. I wanted to share an experience I've gone through multiple times in my life involving what I believe were occult attacks. Last time it happened was in 2022. I know this sounds unbelievable, but these beings came to my workplace posing as clients. They looked human. They spoke fluent English, but I knew they weren't from here. One thing gave them away. One of the clients told me, "Be mindful, there's a bump in the back of my head. Don't press too hard on it." And as I worked thoroughly throughout the day, I realized that every one of these individuals had the same unusual bump. The first client I worked on triggered something in me after mocking something I had said. At that point, I decided to show her that I knew she wasn't human. When our massage session ended, I somehow knew she was about to ask where the restroom was before she even opened her mouth. Sure enough, she asked. I lowered my arms and calmly replied, "It's on your left." And she started walking in the wrong direction. "This way?" she asked. I repeated, "On your left. It's on your left." And she continued guessing, moving in different directions, clearly unable to understand. Finally, she stopped and simply looked at me. I pointed to the left and looked directly into her eyes and walked away. She seemed to have absolutely no understanding of what left or right meant. It made me wonder if where they came from directions were understood differently. I continued working on the remaining clients until I reached the final appointment of the day. Before I went in, one of my coworkers warned me, "She's a little scary." As soon as I brought her into the room, I began seeing the image of Baphomet in my mind's eye. There was also something about her that reminded me of it. It's difficult to explain. This final client ended up cursing me. It felt as though the entire encounter was some kind of spiritual test or trial. Again, it's incredibly difficult to explain and far more than I could easily put into words. Everything is alright now. However, I notice a pattern throughout my life. Whenever I get close to becoming the best version of myself spiritually, financially, and finally become independent, something seems to happen that completely turns my life upside down. I say threat because at one point I was initiated to become a warrior of light through a mystery school. My school followed one of the 7 rays. Today, I'm what you call a mystery school dropout. I don't feel like I was the right candidate for that path, at least not at this point in my life. However, the school wanted me to eventually become a guardian working alongside world-renowned exorcists. The day those beings came into my workplace, I had opened my magic circle. Later, they began telling my coworkers we thought we were going to take her this time until she disappeared. According to what I was told, they could no longer see me while my magic circle remained open. Only after I closed the circle and left the premises were they able to perceive me again. That's about as much as I can say for now. After everything I experienced, I truly believe that there was something like a matrix operating behind the scenes. There is so much more to all of the 3 occult attacks I've experienced, but I didn't want to overwhelm you with every detail if you weren't interested, lol. Please keep making your videos. They aren't just entertaining, they are genuinely making people think. I truly believe they are helping make the world a better place. Thank you kindly. Yeah. So that's something that kind of sucks, is like if like occultish people end up showing up to your house and stuff, or your workplace. So where like laws come in, human laws, and it's just like, damn it, I can't boot to the face these motherfuckers. Yeah, that's when it comes to it's kind of weird with like those dark occultish people and stuff like that, because it's like I just kind of have zero tolerance for them. If they try coming to do witchy shit, boot to the face every single fucking time. I know there's some good occult stuff out there too, but I'm talking about those ones that come to your home or to your workplace with ill intent to witch you or try to do some crazy shit to you. Boot to the face every fucking time. But when you're working with massage work, healing work, and doctoring, I would recommend having like a jar of ash maybe at your work. Because when you work on people's energies and their bodies, and you don't know where the hell they've been, and sometimes when you're doctoring people, that energy can go inside of you. So having some sort of protections with you at your work, whether you put some on before you work on somebody or afterwards too, to kind of cleanse you out too, those that will really help you out for sure. Not too sure about the mystery school. I never heard of that, but cool. Awesome. But yeah, like when it comes to people showing up to your workplace, just especially if I don't know if you're the owner or anybody else is the owner of that establishment, but yeah, definitely choose who your clients are. And sometimes, you know, if you're working, sometimes you got to be ready for the devil to walk into your work and yeah, give him a massage maybe, but maybe get a ceremony done after for sure. But 100% glad you're safe and okay from that occurrence. Yeah, I would just say have some protections when you work on people there. So everybody in the comments, go ahead and thank everybody for submitting this story. What would you guys do in these situations? You, the viewers out there, for the first story, would you fight a demon to protect your kids? Second story, would you keep on driving or would you pull off and ask that person how they're doing? And the third story, would you work on evil people at your workplace? Who? Thank you everybody again so much for submitting your stories. If you guys want to submit your story, you guys can send it on over to shanclenshadowproductions@gmail.com. It's going to be in the video description. Lots of things have been happening. We recently came out with another video. Paranormal Investigation Shush and I went to Alameda, California for the group hunt investigation over at the USS Hornet. So that investigation is out now. Go check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know if you guys like that. I feel like it's my best work yet so far as for editing and telling a story, as well as the interactions that we had on the ship as well. So that one's going to be like my new featured video on the channel until like the next investigation might be even better than that one. But then I want to give a huge shout out. Thank you to everybody, the crew at the USS Hornet. You guys were awesome and amazing. And I want to say thank you to everybody, all you viewers that came out to do the meet and greet and investigation with us on the USS Hornet. It was really fun and cool, and to meet you all, I was super happy and excited to see you all. Now, for all you viewers out there, there's one more chance you guys get to investigate with me this year. That's going to be September 12th at the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. So tickets are going to be in the video description down below. So if you guys want to go investigate with me and Shush, maybe Nas, I'm not too sure if he's going to be there or not, or Coach, but me and Shush for sure. You guys want to come hang out with us, investigate with us at this creepy, scary location. Go ahead and buy your tickets down below. It's going to be a lot cheaper than the California one, just because California's expensive. So if you guys want to go over there, you guys can investigate with us and hang out with us, do a meet and greet, take pictures. Everybody that went to the Hornet, comment down below. Let them know about your guys' experience, because we had some crazy interactions when we were there too, but it was a lot of fun for sure. So get your tickets for the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. Do not wait till last minute, because tickets will sell out, because they're currently discounted right now. I think there's like 2 or 3 discounted tickets left, and then they're going to go full price. And yeah, Shush and I and Nas are going to be taking off to an investigation this week, this Friday. So it's going to be interesting and amazing to see what we capture at this location. I'm not going to say where yet. I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be good for sure. I'm super excited. Investigations are in full swing for the channel. And thank you everybody who donated to the investigation funds link That's also in the video description if you guys want to help us out, get to these locations, help us get to the hotel, food, to stay there for new equipment and stuff. That donation link is in the video description. So again, thank you everybody so much who has donated already. And if you're going to donate in the future, thank you so much too as well. So that's pretty much all I got. This video is going to be coming out. I had to change editing softwares. This is going to be DaVinci Resolve now. So we'll see how that looks. See how it turns out. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me. Go follow me on all my social medias too. Instagram. Got 2 accounts on there. I got a second channel, Shanclen Shadow Lodge, and TikTok. So link trees are everywhere. So go find that. Go follow me to stay up to date with everything. So thank you all so much. Thank you all to welcome new subscribers too. There's a lot to there's a lot of information here. So just take your time, keep watching videos. And I'm pretty sure if you have a question, I already made a video on it, but new stuff is coming out every week for sure. So hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Who got it? Freaking Adobe is trying to charge me $860 something, $30 something for a yearly thing on their services because of AI. Like they added a shit ton of new AI features and they're like $850 something. What? No, I don't want to use all that. They're like, here, 800. It was like 400 or 500 last year and they like doubled the price. I'm like, damn. DaVinci Resolve though, got a lot of new features on there. Almost the same as Adobe Premiere Pro. You know, one-time payment, $300. Have it for life. They got some cool editing like devices too. I want to try to get in the future. So please donate. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Look at it.